Okay, we are live. Let's try and find a place here relatively by so we don't disturb everybody's peace. Oh, right there will be perfect. Let's see if we can get some people in here to the stream before it starts. Here, get an overview of what's going on. So far, 0 people are in here. Let's see. Here we go. Yeah, here we go. Now let me switch the camera around. We got 4 people in here. 5. Hello, everybody. Hello. Let's see. Here we go. Nice overhead now. Where can I set this? Here we go. Here, let me get set up, ladies and gentlemen, so I can... You are gay. Okay, yep. This is boring. Billy Hill, well, if this is boring, you're the first person, so I don't know. If you're waiting just to pop into my live stream, I don't know who's the more boring one. But geez, it's only been a minute. Let's set up here. Hello, time to stand. Hey, Kaylee, here we go. Now let me see if I can angle it so you people watching can see me standing in the background. Hello, everybody. Hello. Okay, well, I think we got the top of the building in the background, so I think that's going to be good. That'll do it. So I'm coming to Anaheim. Watch out, time to stand. Billy Hill is I think he might be a troll, so I'll let the moderators deal with the trolls. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, here I got a solar power thing, so I'm going to put that away here. You got to see the inside of my bag. Alright, and as you can see right behind me, we're at the California State University of Sacramento. Originally going to be at this courthouse on 9th Street, but it got moved to this building right here because of the social distancing and whatnot for the COVID. So it's at a different location. And get this, ladies and gentlemen. Oh yes, hi. Where have you? No, I haven't been in jail. Well, I mean, I've been visiting people at jail, but I have not been inside jail personally. What was I going to say here? COVID trial. That comment killed my train of thought, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, now I was going to say. So this building right behind me, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to walk over to the lobby here in a minute, and I can show you just exactly what I'm talking about, hopefully. But right now, the hearing is going on for Mr. Joseph James D'Angelo, also known as the Golden State Killer. He's pleading guilty today to avoid the death penalty. Oh, good to see you in the chat, Mrs. DTS. I wasn't here this morning. Now, he started pleading guilty to stuff this morning. Now, the reason why I wasn't here this morning is because the media request I filed for the court said all these Sacramento cases were going to be held at 1:35 in the afternoon. And so far they are. The case is out of Sacramento. But what I didn't realize is that this morning they were going to decide to do all these other counties, because this man has committed crimes in 11 counties throughout the state of California, ladies and gentlemen. And they started calling the morning cases. A person I know, Orange County District Attorney Todd Spitzer, is here. So I'm hoping Todd will see me, because me and Todd, we haven't seen each other in quite a while. And I have a video coming out eventually whenever it gets put up. I was at the Tet Parade in Little Saigon in Westminster in Orange County. And it was the 2018 Tet Parade, and those who don't know what Tet is, it is the Vietnamese Lunar New Year. In other words, their version of New Year's. I mean, we celebrate at the end of the calendar at the December 31st in January, but theirs follows the lunar calendar, which is the New Year's around February, end of January there. And he dressed up in this big old, traditional outfit, right, with, dragons and colors on it, and he's walking down the parade waving this big South Vietnam flag. It is 3:30, ladies and gentlemen. But anyways, he was wearing this robe and waving this big flag, and I'm in the middle, right, of the street that it's on. I'm standing medium because I don't want to be squished up in the crowd. And plus, too, I'm I'm the media, and all the media was standing out on the medium, so I just walked on out there, and that was great, and they just welcomed me like another media person. Yes, thank you, everybody in the chat commenting. Yes, I know. Sorry for those in the UK, 11:29 p.m. I know, not the greatest, but shout out to everybody watching from the UK. Love all my fans in the UK. Much love. What was I going to say? And so, dang it, dang it. Thank you, Mrs. DTS. You got me off, lost track of what I was saying. Thank you for everybody for their support. But I'd rather lose track thanking people for support than something not supporting my fans. So yeah, that's right, the TEP parade. So I'm standing in the middle of the medium, and Todd Spitzer, at that time who was running for Orange County District Attorney, he sees me and he just stops talking to everybody else and just walks straight towards me, and he goes, the cameraman, the cameraman, the cameraman. And if you go and look in my cameraman cameos, you'll see a video, a really long video, it's in Vietnamese, of the TEP parade of that day. And if you skip to a certain point, I know I made a comment on that video where it is, you'll see me on Vietnamese TV jumping up and down because they have a big overhead camera that was filming everybody, and I don't know how far they had it zoomed in of the crowd, so I made sure to jump to see myself in the footage afterwards, but it's pretty hilarious. So he's here today, and hopefully we'll be able to say hi to him, and, what do you call it, what's the word I'm looking for, have a little reunion, if you will. I haven't seen him in like 3 years, so that should be fun. But main thing is, the First Amendment, ladies and gentlemen, it doesn't matter if you filed an MC 500 request. If you weren't here this morning to sign in and get your little bracelet, no entry into the courthouse. That's right. Well, I shouldn't say courthouse. I should say the hall here, ladies and gentlemen, because they needed more space for this hearing. But the First Amendment here, ladies and gentlemen, has been restricted to a raffle, if you can believe that. So if you weren't here this morning and signed in, even though regardless if you filed a media request or not, and didn't get your bracelet, well, you're not going to be let in, even though I have a mask and whatnot, because I wasn't here, even though I filed a motion with the court, because I wasn't here this morning. And that's another thing, I have the case number for the Sacramento County cases. Not for all these other cases out of Orange County, Ventura, Contra Costa, and whatnot, but they're all tied together here in this giant special prosecution where it's going to be all in one giant hearing, if you will. Where all these, there's like a whole bunch of DAs from different counties here today. There's like some really top brass here, if you will, as far as DA people go. Oh, there's a kitty. Cat roaming around. So yeah, it just blew me away how, regardless if you filed a motion in the court, they decided to restrict the First Amendment with a raffle and a wristband. Like, really? There's no raffle on the First Amendment. Everybody has the First Amendment right to freedom of the press. And what's even more hilarious, ladies and gentlemen, is they have a lot just to park for media. Now, I'm parked in that lot. I'm media, even though I disagree with the fact that you have to show a press pass to park in this lot. Okay, the press pass is not supposed to grant special powers or privileges like that to park in an area that's, designated for media. We all, as American citizens, under the United States Constitution, First Amendment, we have the freedom of press, and that shall not be infringed. And to say that someone needs to have a pass, which, from my understanding, the Supreme Courts have already ruled that is unconstitutional, and the only real thing it's for, from what I see, is if you go to like Walmart or a private property or a private event, like let's say Walmart is going to host a 100 years of in business party at their corporate headquarters, and I want to go, and they say, okay, we let media in, but you're going to have to show your media. Well, that's sort of where even though I don't agree with that either, if we all have the First Amendment right, regardless of the event's private or public, we should be able to report on that with our First Amendment. But to get into that private property, you would have to show your press pass and identify as media. I've been at Star Wars convention, ladies and gentlemen, at the Anaheim Convention Center in 2015, and I see these media people walking around with media passes. And don't quote me on this, but I believe, if I remember correctly, when I asked somebody about it, they had to pay like $100 some to have that media pass. And it wasn't like their own press pass like I have. It was just a lanyard with I think it was the Inquisitor from Rebels on it, saying, you know, media. And I'm like, well, we all have the First Amendment right to freedom of the press. If I see something here unveiled today, I have a First Amendment right to go and report on that. So why should I, what makes you so special ability than me? We can all use a camera in here. And that was one thing, some events there's no photography. This is one event where photography is allowed. So what's the issue here? But it's just a gimmick to make money off of that in a private sort of sense. But when it comes to public property, ladies and gentlemen, first, the press pass is not supposed to give you special powers. And from my understanding, this is a state university. Now, there might not be places, yeah, welcome to the new world, exactly. Now, there might be some places that I'm not allowed as a general member of the public, like the student housing building. But from my understanding, this university is a state university. I don't know if you just saw the golf cart go past, if I had it angled, but in there we have California State University Police. So we have a First Amendment right guaranteed on publicly accessible property. But it seems to me here that that shouldn't be an issue. We have all these media people, so I highly doubt filming will be an issue today. But who knows, we'll have to see. But right now, I'm just waiting for the press conference to happen. That's what the next one you got to sign in for and see if we'll get a bracelet or not. And I asked, well, when do you think that press conference is going to be? Usually court in the state of California usually ends around 4:30, and they're, well, I don't know. It's whenever the judge decides, and so that's how it is. Whenever the judge decides. But we'll see if we can get into the press conference or not, if we'll be denied that. But now let's go down, and I want to show you the area that you have to enter. I don't know if they'll let us in, but I do want to ask if that sign-in has been made available yet for the press conference. CVC, vehicle code 21210. You cannot park your bicycle here. Ladies and gentlemen, they even have labels on the trash cans that say you cannot take stuff out of the trash can under whatever municipal code it is. So, is your body camera? No, it is not. I don't have it. I'm conserving battery right now on that. I don't really need to have it running. I mean, we have the live, but if something happens, I will start running the body camera. But as you can see here, ladies and gentlemen, all the media is waiting out here, out of order. The door is out of order. They're unable to repair. Wheel devices prohibited. No rollerblading, no scootering, no skateboards, no bicycles. But yeah, this is where everybody's waiting. These guys have a tent out here. Majority of the media is all hanging out over there on the stoops. We got a lot of people here. Oh, there we go. And lots of people here. And in there is the actual, I don't know, they probably have it roped off and directed, but in here is the doors you have to enter. Oh yes, Oscar Flores. Oscar Flores, good to see you. I didn't realize that was you at first. Good to see you, Oscar. That's one of my, for those who don't know Oscar Flores, ladies and gentlemen, he's been one of my longtime subscribers since I started way back in 2016. He's been around for a long time. So, yeah, they do have restaurants here, ladies and gentlemen, at the state, but, because of the coronavirus, everything is closed and you can't eat at a restaurant anymore. But, so pretty much, we're going to wait and see what happens. I'm probably going to end the live stream here in a few minutes and see what happens. But yeah, I think that's pretty much what I'm going to do, ladies and gentlemen. I gave you an update of pretty much what's going on. I hope to be back soon and live stream the press conference for everybody to see. But right now we're just waiting, so I'm going to go ahead and figure out how to do all this signing in, whether or not that's even been made available yet, and find out where this press conference and whatnot is going to happen, and hopefully we can be in there and exercise our First Amendment right to freedom of the press, because this is a pretty high-profile case, and one thing is, like, they don't really, I'm not really hammered home, if you will, is this guy is, a former police officer, and he is accused of doing these crimes, some of these crimes, while still employed with police departments. So it's pretty disturbing. But one thing I will comment on, that, instead of hammering home that, I did hear a lot of hammering home how each of these victims described him as having a small winky dinky, because we can't say the other word potentially, because that might cause some age restriction nowadays on the YouTube, if you will. But too, I don't want to blurt that out here very loudly. Have some decorum, if you will. But yeah, that's one thing they keep mentioning, I keep hearing about, is a distinguishing feature of this gentleman. But this gentleman, Joseph James DeAngelo, he's 74 years old, and the main reason he's pleading guilty today is to avoid the death penalty. But I mean, regardless if he dies now or 20 years from now, I mean, he's 74 years old, so he's lived a pretty long life. So, I mean, and then too, here in California, it takes years and years for someone to ever be executed, if they even get executed. Because here we have automatic appeals, that takes a long time. Not that I'm trying to advocate for the death penalty here or anything like that. I'm just stating that the appeals process here takes a long time, and the actual act of somebody being executed takes years. And sometimes people just naturally die on death row before they can even go to the execution chamber, if you will. I mean, look at Charles Manson. The state tried to execute him. They couldn't get him executed, and he ended up being, if I remember correctly, they classified him as, like a mental patient, so he wouldn't be, the death penalty. And he, stayed in prison for quite a long time before he died a couple years ago. So another famous case of death penalty and avoidance, if you will. But thank you for everybody tuning in. This is about an 18-minute live stream. Hope to be back soon with the press conference. We have 7 people still watching. I think our highest was 15 or 14 people. Thank you for everybody for tuning in, and hope to be back within an hour or so and give you a live stream of this press conference. Cameraman out.